celibacy, the whole 9 yards. Nothing was stopping me from attaining that ultimate truth. Well, the monastic pursuit lasted about a year before I fell in love with another novice, Darren Albury, who had an equine bum and the cross-eyed, inward-looking gaze of a saint. We were the only black guys in the entire ashram, and both of us of Caribbean descent. Narcissus's magnetic pull got too strong to resist, along with my eternal struggle of sacred and profane, the spirit and the flesh. Darren and I were quickly discovered and dismissed from the ashram due to adharmic behavior. We slinked our separate ways in shame. I had failed again, first at my MFA writing program, now at spirituality. I stopped meditating altogether, out of spite, I suppose. What a proud fool I was. But despite being cast from the Garden of Eden, wayward and admittedly ever entangled in the outlying brambles of sensuality, I am still that same honest truth-seeker who made those vows of non-violence years ago. You must believe me. I wouldn't be writing this story otherwise. What else is this mad literary endeavor if it isn't my attempt at finding my way back to my lost, unadulterated true self? In the ancient Indian Vedas, the pursuit of becoming a sannyasi is summed up with 3 simple questions. Who am I? Of what do I really consist? And what is this cage of suffering? I'm still searching for the answers to those questions. If I had a motto, it would be, seek only truth. Sola veritate. That's what all this is for. On the other hand, I am also black Caribbean, Brit-ish, as Afua Hirsch puts it, and now Americanized, living in Brooklyn in 2019, floundering in the wake of a peculiar invention called whiteness. Is there really such a thing as race, you may ask? Isn't it all a Kantian philosophical invention? Yeah, sure, that's all true, but now we're neck-high in centuries of the grand illusion. Fred Moten, the African-American poet-philosopher, says ever since the invention of whiteness, black has become a stand-in for something fugitive, a spirit of escape and transgression, an outlaw. From the look of me, slight of stature, with my Harry Potter glasses and preppy Oxford button-down shirts, you'd never peg me as an outlaw. I even have a new, persistent bulge about my waist. Skinny fat, they call it. The worst of both worlds. If you had to size me up, you'd probably guess I was a burgeoning history professor, or a hopeless enthusiast of Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe even a struggling youngish writer. And you'd be correct there. But I have to agree with Fred Moten. Despite what some might describe as my humble appearance, I am, by the very nature of my nature, an outlaw. The Outlaw and the Legend. My crazy situation, being locked up in this cramped basement study, starts with the fact that I'm a novelist. At least that's what I call myself. As of yet, no publisher has wanted to grant me that identity. But I have a literary agent, Wilson, a genuine gentleman and a scholar. He's a tall, seemingly liberated wasp, fashionably youthful enough to wear edgy, thick-framed Italian glasses, but old enough to be that rare, nearly outmoded literary professional who believes in nurturing raw talent. He's taken me on and is representing a manuscript I presented to him 2 years ago. A novel based on the life of the great British writer, E.M. Forster. My historical novel focuses on the 3 years Forster lived in Alexandria, Egypt, during World War I, when he fell in love with the black Egyptian tram conductor, Mohammed el Adl. At the ripe age of 38, Edward Morgan Forster, known as Morgan to friends, had never had sex. The affair with Mohammed is well documented as Morgan's first and most meaningful sexual relationship, and, unfortunately, it was a doomed one. I had written the novel in a voice close to Morgan's perspective. I myself am in many ways like the shy, self-doubting gay British writer. I was even raised in...